The howl of the wolf fills a lonely canyon high above the desert land they call Chacote. The flint strikes the steel, a cloud conceals the final stand, and the noble fall of the great wheat. Stay safe, stay warm, and you stay free with Chacote Outdoor Recreation.
Hey, Bill here with Chacote Outdoor Recreation, out here at the Arizona Civil War Council reenactment. We're going to have a good day, so stick with me. This ought to get pretty interesting.
Yes, sir. 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 That's it. Forward.
Really?
Yep.
Alright. So, haversack contents. This is my gun case. Use it to wrap my rifle up whenever I need to go anywhere. Pair of woolen gloves, what I use for both when it's cold and for when my musket's rather hot.
All right.
Little box of earplugs, because those are very important during reenactments. And, ooh, a screwdriver for taking apart my musket. Bag of beef jerky.
Yeah.
Box of percussion caps for resupplying.
Sarge, what are your costs on a box of those now?
Ooh, this was probably about $15.
Yeah.
And a little multi-tool just for general purpose use. And a spare hat, just in case. Oops, and a pair of cartridges. There we go.
All right, well, thank you.
No problem.
This is all my eating utensils, so knife, let's see, spoon, fork, and a little bag to carry it in.
Okay.
Also inside of here there'd be a liner, but mine's gone.
Now, is that a tarred haversack?
Yes,
Okay.
this is a tarred haversack. It was mainly used by the U.S. because, well, they had the materials to actually do that.
Now, have you had it out in the rain? Did it hold up?
It's waterproof.
Yeah, they do hold, huh?
Yeah, I'd trust this thing in the rain. I definitely think it'd hold up. But yeah, they'd carry all their rations and stuff in these, so they'd have, you know, a good portion of was it hardtack or, you know, bread, stuff like that, coffee, rice, maybe cornmeal, you know, stuff like that. And then they'd use something called mucket.
Mucket.
So heat up water in this. There's actually some water still in here.
Now, did you camp out last night and get to use that, or?
Yes, I actually camped in here and right there. All my stuff got put in my car though, but yeah, no, this would be all their food and stuff, you know, and they'd cook up, you know, wherever they need to. They actually, what was it, on the canteen, I don't know where to put mine, but they'd actually have something called a canteen half too, which is basically canteen sliced in half. Basically makes a little plate bowl kind of, and so they'd cook their stuff on there. They would eat their stuff on there. Usually, what a lot of soldiers would just carry is just a spoon, because you could use a spoon for anything. You know, stirring, eating, obviously. What else? You know, I guess you can kind of have a cutting edge on this, but
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, don't know what else to say.
All right. Well, thank you, man. That is a majestic piece right there.
It's 38-inch blade, and like I said, it's for officers of the Horse Grenadiers and the French Cuirassier Corps. So I had an ancestor that was Napoleon's cavalry, so I decided to imitate his history. So I got the uniform and all that. I got dragoons and uniforms, and I've got dragoon swords, and I got even a Sardinian Army heavy cavalry sword, which is kind of like the British heavy cavalry sword that used at Waterloo. So, but I don't know how long I'm going to keep my sword collection, but I'm keeping this one for sure because it saved my life. So I'm going to keep this one for
Now,
sure.
if you go to parade with that, how much does it extend past your shoulder?
Well, it comes up like this. So somebody thought I was a walking stick
Wow.
because it sits up like this.
Recycled from Goodwill. I'm retired.
Yep.
So
Sorry.
I didn't want to do discount sale days.
At
That's-
first look, he thought, oh, this must be some kind of weird walking stick. No, I said, that's my sword.
That's even a majestic sheet. Look at that thing.
Yeah, it also comes with it. There's also, you could also, back then, could have gotten a curved sword. They had sword makers that'll customize it any way you want. And then, like my brother has a Turkish scimitar. So, you know, if he ever does light cavalry someday, hussars or chasseurs, then he could, or Mamelukes.
Could I feel the weight of that?
Yeah, it's a little hefty.
Get the weight of that. Boy, that thing is gorgeous.
And it's not even polished. I was too lazy to polish.
You know what? I would leave the patina on it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would polish it or not. You know, take some brass out of this. There's a lot of history on this. That's pretty cool looking.
Yeah, well, that is. I mean,
Can I unsheath it?
oh no, go ahead.
Well, that's got some heft to it. You don't have an easy time with that.
Oh yeah, I can parry and thrust with that.
Can you?
I took sword classes.
Well, that is no joke.
And
That is gorgeous.
it's pretty good. It's long, but it's light for a heavy cavalry sword. And for thrusting, it's not any good for slashing, but for thrusting, which is what the French cavalry stressed was always thrust.
Yeah.
A thrust is a lot more deadlier than a slash.
Oh.
Yeah, you wish it was only a slash. You could.
Yeah, I mean, this is basic sword stuff, sword drill, practical stuff that an officer would use. The first one would be that you take possession of the troops, so you're basically shoulder, and then your troops come to attention. They come to attention. Most of the time, I'm going to use this sword to guide people. On the battlefield, obviously, it's not too practical to wave this thing around unless you're guiding lines. You know, left wheel, you're bringing them around like this. You make sure that they're lined, and then you can follow their lines when they're doing this. One of the classic ones we have would be present arms.
Turn my back and walk away. Never see him again.
If you're
Like
talking
this.
a relatively small amount, once you type it, lawyers,
And then you have to kind of get used to sheathing the thing. But it's
not that lawyers are shy,
definitely a sign of rank. The troops are looking for swords, they're looking for shoulder boards. They're also looking for the flag. I mean, you can imagine a battle with several thousand people. It's utter chaos at that point, but they're looking for command and control. They want to be under control. They want to know what's going on. So they're looking for this. They're looking for these. Although a lot of times, especially later in the war, the officers, just like in the wars later, would peel off all signs of rank because the troops would end up, especially the Confederates had a number of sharpshooters, but also the Union forces had a number of sharpshooters, and their job was to pick off the officers, the NCOs, and anybody who was in command. So it was a big deal to be able to guide the troops with some other, couple things. Otherwise, then of course the classic Armistead, Confederate troop, Pickett's charge, leading the troops. He was one of the few Confederate troops that actually made it up to the Federal line in that bloodbath called Pickett's Charge by using his sword and his hat to guide his troops, because he knew that was the only way he was going to guide the troops. So it most definitely comes in handy as an officer, but obviously not functional when everybody else has got a gun. The classic thing, you don't bring a knife to a gunfight. So that's a little baby primer.
Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Sure.
There's a lot of flags, in the world. Every country has a flag. That one, that flag there is different. It's different from any other flag you're ever going to see. That flag represents a lot of little people with some big dreams. That flag, it doesn't care what your last name is. It doesn't care how fat your wallet is. What that flag represents is a chance. Represents a chance. Maybe a slim one, but a chance. That flag has draped the coffin of every hero I've ever had. That flag is Old Glory. I really hope you enjoyed that little segment of Chacote Outdoor Recreation. 1861 to 1865, some pretty dark times in this country. Not a happy memory for our nation. But anyway, you enjoy yourself today. You stay safe. Stay warm. You stay free.